All right, hope everyone's having a great weekend. Weather's been great, gorgeous. Hope you're able to get out and get away a little bit from school. All right, this is going to be for our lesson for Monday for 831 over coterminal angles. Okay, so just real quick, going to read the top there. Coterminal angles are angles that have the same terminal side. Not only are coterminal angles created by measuring an angle both in the negative and in the positive direction, but they can be created by doing more than one revolution. Yes, angles can measure more than 360 degrees. Coterminal angles can be found at the same location, just another revolution more or less. So to find coterminal angles, we add or subtract 360 and we'll end in the same location for the terminal side. So I want you to think about this. If you've ever seen people snowboarding the X Games, right? They have, what? Rotations, right? So someone can do a 360 on the half pipe or a 720, which is 2 full rotations, right? Or a 1080, which is 3 full rotations. Okay? So pretty much all coterminal angles they are the exact same angle. You're just adding 360 or subtracting 360. So let's look at these first examples here, okay? And again, I would suggest if you have the option to, please have access to your 36X. Okay, if you do, it's going to make it a lot easier, especially when you're dealing with radians, okay? So it wants me to find one other positive and negative coterminal angle. So what that means is, guys, is you cannot use, yes, this is a positive angle right now, but I need to find another positive angle. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's look at what that means. Okay, so when I look at this first problem here, 30 degrees, right? 30 degrees. So a positive angle to that is just going to be this. I'm just going to take that 30 degrees and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 360 to it. And when I do that, I get 390. Done. That's my positive angle. Okay? Guys, and there's multiple ones. If you wanted to add 360 twice, so add another 360 to that, that could be your positive angle. You just need another positive coterminal angle that is not 30 degrees. Okay? So, here we go. Negative angle. Okay? So, we've got now 30 degrees minus 360 degrees. And when I do subtract 360 degrees one time, that's going to give me a negative 330 degrees. There you go. There's my positive and negative coterminal angles. That's it. That's simple. Okay, we're just adding, subtracting 360. Okay, so this time we're starting off with a negative angle. So let's go ahead. Let's do our positive. So our positive, we're going to take that negative 34 degrees. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to add 360 to it. And when I do, I get 326 degrees. My negative, okay, going to take that negative 34 degrees, subtract 360. And when I do that, I'm going to get a negative 394. So again, positive. Just take that angle, add 360 till you get a positive angle. Take the same angle starting off, subtract 360 till you get another negative angle in this case, and therefore there's your positive and negative coterminal angles. Okay? Now, when it's given to us in radians, it needs to stay in radians. Okay? So, to start off here, positive. Okay, I'm going to take my original angle given, 7 pi over 6. Now, one revolution. Okay, one revolution in radians is equal to what? 2 pi. We learned about this, right? So I'm going to do the exact same thing, except now it's on degrees and it's just radians. So I'm going to take that 7 pi over 6 and I'm going to add 2 pi. And guys, this is where it's nice to have your 36X. Okay, this is where it's nice to have 36X. So because all you need to do is you just do 7 pi over 6 plus 2 pi. Hit enter, and there you go. So it gives me 19 pi over 6. 19 pi over 6, right? Now, if you don't have access to that, then you have to get like terms. So this is how I did it. I did 7 pi over 6 plus, what is 2 pi as a fraction with a denominator of 6? That's just 12 pi over 6, because 12 over 6 equals 2, right? And so when you do that, now you're going to be left with 19 pi over 6, okay, is your positive. All right? Let's look at our negative. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to get 7 pi over 6, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to subtract 2 pi. Okay, subtract 2 pi, and that gives me a negative radian. Okay, so again, that's going to now give you 7 pi over 6. This time, though, we're subtracting 12 pi over 6, which then, yes, it does give me a negative angle. That gives me a negative 5 pi over 6. And there you go. That is one positive and negative coterminal angle to 7 pi over 6. Now, it is not possible to identify all of them. There's infinitely many. Okay, we can go on and on and on. Okay, on and on and on. We can use this process for angles that are larger than 360 degrees by subtracting 360 from the larger angle measure until we find a positive and negative coterminal angle. Okay? So we're going to look at these last couple here, and then that's going to be it. Okay, so it says find one positive and negative coterminal angle for the given angle. So this one is larger than 360. Okay, larger than 360 or less than negative 360, right? Because 0 to negative 360 is a rotation counterclockwise. Clockwise, not counterclockwise is always a positive angle. Clockwise is a negative angle. Okay? So what I'm going to do first off is I need this to be between, because it says this, it says find one positive negative coterminal angle for the given angle and then state the quadrant that it's in. Okay? So to state the quadrant that it's in, okay, we want this. We want angle, sorry, my bad. We want angle to be between 0 and 360 degrees. And the reason why is because we want it to be between 0 and 360 degrees. Okay, because we want it to be between 0 and 360 degrees, that'll help us to determine what quadrant it's in. Okay, that'll help us to determine what quadrant that's in. Because again, remember, 0 to 90 degrees, quadrant 1. 90 to 180, quadrant 2. 180 to 270, quadrant 3. 270 to 360, quadrant 4. That's what's going to help us to determine that. So, the first thing I do with this 800 degrees is I want it between 0 and 360. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to subtract 360. When I do that, I get 440. So again, that is not between 0 and 360. So again, I'm going to go ahead and subtract another 360 from that. Okay? And when I do that, I get 80 degrees. Now, is that between 0 and 360? It is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that as my positive angle, okay? And I'm also going to say, okay, well, what quadrant is that in? That's in quadrant 1, because that's between 0 and 90 degrees. So there you go. I just figured out 2 parts of this problem. Now, last but not least, I need one more negative angle. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take that 80 degrees right there, and I'm going to subtract 360. And when I do that, that is going to give me a negative 280 degrees. Therefore, I now have a positive angle, which was 80 degrees, quadrant 1. I also have a negative angle, which is now a negative 280 degrees. Okay, so we satisfied everything it asks us to do. As for the quadrant, as for a positive angle, as for negative. Now, if you wanted to, you could have done 440 as a positive angle as well, because that's a coterminal angle to 800 degrees, and it's also positive. All right, now this is where we have to kind of do a lot of guess and check when we get to these bigger problems. So we've got negative 3,732 degrees. Okay, so ideally, I just did a lot of guess and check, but what I'm going to do is to get this to be a negative angle between 0 and negative 360, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 10 times 360 degrees, right? Because, again, 360 degrees is one revolution. So what that does is that's going to now give me a negative angle of, after you do this in your calculator, and it's really easy, guys. Again, you can just do this in your calculator. If you take negative 3732 plus 10, and then parentheses 360. That's going to give me a negative 132. Okay, now that's between 0 and negative 360. That's what we want. We want it between either 0 and 360 or 0 and negative 360. Okay, and so when I do that, that gives me my negative angle of negative 132 degrees. Okay, and that's it for now, because again, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get a positive and negative coterminal angle. So that's my negative angle. Now my positive, I'm going to take that negative 132. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 360 to it. And when I do, that's now going to give me a positive 228 degrees. So there's my positive angle. And then now what quadrant is that in? Because it's now between 0 and 360. So again, that is going to be quadrant 3, because that angle is between 180 and 270. So we got our negative angle. Okay. We got our positive angle. And we also got what quadrant that's in. Okay. Last but not least, same thing here, same process. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to subtract 10 times 360 degrees. Again, guys, guess and check. I played around in my calculator. I kept taking my calculator and subtracting 360. Okay, until I got an angle between 0 and 360. So my positive angle between 0 and 360 is 345. That is 3,945 degrees minus 10 times 360 degrees. We know that that is in quadrant 4. Why is that in quadrant 4? Because that is between 270 and 360. And so last but not least, to find our negative angle, we're going to take that 345 and we're going to subtract 360 one more time from that. And when I do, that gives me a negative 15 degrees. And there we go, we're done. So again, to reiterate, guys, coterminal angles are the same angle, just one revolution, either adding 360, which is moving counterclockwise, or subtracting 360, which is moving clockwise. So if you have any questions, again, we will go over this in class after we go over the examples. But that is it from me today. I hope you guys have a great Sunday, and I'll see you guys. Looking forward to seeing everyone come Monday for class. Talk to you later.